Okay, I have no idea what's going on audio-wise. I'm hoping someone in production will tell me if I have Dagda or not. But for the time being, I'm just going to monologue until I'm told what's going on. Oh, he's
died.
back.
It's died to death. It's died to death. It is absolutely died to death out here. It's not even my internet. It's just
hot
the software.
Today, you know? It's hot today.
Yeah.
Well, just blame the heat, Dagda. Blame the heat. You can always blame the heat. When you're in this part of the world, it's a limitless excuse. We've got a Gwen and a Nocturne locked in for the side of FPX here. Over to OMG once more.
So it feels like Doinb going to be taking that Nocturne. We saw him pilot it before, and definitely fits into his playstyle, I'll say, where he wants to try and play off towards these side lanes. OMG now actually going to be taking that Sylas away from themselves and pairing a bit of Renekton. So very strong composition towards that top half of the map. A lot of bruisers, a lot of CC. So certainly if you can get these skirmishes going on top end of the map, OMG should be looking in pretty good shape as Nuguri will be taking time to scale into the matchup on this Gwen.
Looks like it's going to be a jungler as an option here for the side of FPX. Tian going to go for the Olaf, and it means that that Nocturne will very likely be going to the mid lane for Doinb. And for both sides, we just have the bot laners remaining, and it pains me to say it, Dagda, but I think we're going to see OMG banning away Ziggs here.
Yeah, I think so as well. And especially, you can already see for FPX, they're targeting the Aphelios and these kind of late game scalers with the Thresh, so we'll have to see if FPX are going to get their hands on it. Can ban away, maybe OMG decide to leave it open and just ban away something like the Nautilus instead, and hope that, look, maybe we can just force it into this awkward position where you're not able to have a decent support alongside that Ziggs, but we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. Oh,
and FPX are just like, all right, we're going to ban all of the supports you can put with Aphelios, and then maybe could just pick up a Braum for themselves as their first pick here, and basically say to OMG, look, you can pick the Aphelios if you want to. We know Abel likes it, but it's not gonna have a good time.
And there's the Ziggs ban. Yeah, I think you're right. I think a Braum pick would be really nice here, especially because you're already super dive heavy as OMG. Braum does well against counteracting that dive and buying a bit of space in these fights. We'll have to see if that is the decision here. Could even opt in towards something like the Ezreal if you wanted to for Lwx, but Lwx does dig his Kaisa. He's a very strong Kaisa player, so might instead go back towards that one.
Oh, Crisp has even got some new hair. The Rel would certainly match, but it's going to be the Leona that comes in the end here, which could mean something like an Ezreal for Lwx, although I'm not a huge fan of the Ezreal currently. We'll see where they go as they round things out. OMG could go for like a Braum Aphelios if they wanted to. That would be an option.
Again, I think the Braum could be really strong, especially if you do want to go towards something like this Aphelios, which I think personally not probably the best idea in this situation, where you've got that like point and click jump onto him with the Nocturne, and he can struggle against things like this Gwen as well because you can't target him with the needlework. So instead we get the Kaisa coming through. A little bit more flexibility, a little bit more self-peel as well, thanks to that killer instinct. We'll have to just see what they decide to pair with. I think Nautilus, the big pick right now. Use that as the counter engage for the Leona, and then having your own big engage tool come these mid-game fights.
I like it. We're seeing a bit more proactivity from OMG. Instead of just going to the Aphelios and playing super slow, we get to see some shenanigans, some action. And over to FPX now. Plenty of options available, as you can see. Lwx, or Crisp, sorry, showing us literally every AD carry in the game. In terms of picks, though, you could go for something like a Kalista here, or just go for a Vayne.
Okay.
Now, remember, Vayne technically a counter in lane to Kaisa because she has ever so slightly longer auto-attack range.
Yeah, and in a situation like this, you should be relatively okay as Lwx to operate in these fights, right? It's not like you've got like a lot of things that are going to be able to bypass your front line to jump onto you. The only question though is like, if you end up getting these consistent depth charges from cold, there's a lot of follow-up from OMG where they can burst down Vayne. So I think for Lwx, going to be having to keep his wits about him, but definitely an interesting pick to lead us in towards our game number 2.
This is going to be a curious one. And Lwx, he's played plenty of Vayne over the years. We'll see if it's going to work out for him here today against OMG. And you have to believe that coming into game number 2, FPX are going to be a heavy favorite on this one. But I like the composition we're getting from OMG. They are leaning into their strengths. They have that Sylas for Creme. They've got a Kaisa that can follow up on all the action from Abel. And I think Kaisa has been Abel's most standout pick whether or not statistically, in terms of like when I think of what Abel has done well on this split, the Kaisa is the first one that comes to mind. So I'm excited for this composition from OMG, and I hope that they're going to be able to enact their will here. But I always have that little voice in the back of my head that's just like, look, this is FPX at the end of the day. They're looking amazing, and you gotta favor them regardless of draft.
And that's the thing, for FPX, you need to get the ball rolling against them early. This is a team that has the third fastest first blood, on average their first blood time in the LPL. It's sitting at 4 minutes and 20 seconds is how quickly they manage to pick up first blood on average. That's essentially a first clear into a kill. It is absolutely insane. So you need to get yourself up and rolling early to try and stop that. But as you can see in the last game, they just couldn't manage to do so. Now, Creme in a bit of an easier matchup, I will say, with the Sylas. He's not going to be under... Well, actually, he had a pretty easy matchup last time, but still, hopefully won't be under as much pressure from the Tian and Doinb combo, just because Aki's actually on a champion that can facilitate the 2v2 jungle.
Yeah, I mean, Sylas and Xin Zhao, definitely a terrifying 2v2. Both of them, huge amounts of strength in the early game. But we have seen, live on the LPL stage, what Olaf can do against Xin Zhao in an early 1v1. I forget who it was, but we saw this ridiculous 1v1 where a very overconfident Xin Zhao tried to take on Olaf, and Olaf gets real scary when he's low HP.
It was Rogue Warriors, right? It was Xiaohan who tried to do it in their last series, I believe.
Ah, Xiaohan, yeah, maybe. I forget who it was against,
Xiaohan,
but yeah. I think you might be right on that one. But regardless, I don't anticipate that Aki and Tian will be trying to 1v1 in this game, as they're on opposite sides of the map to start us off. Nuguri looking for a very aggressive trade. This is classic Gwen. This is Gwen 101. If you want to know how to win Lwx Gwen, go for a really aggressive level 1 trade while you have your E, and nobody can realistically contend with your attack speed and your enhanced auto damage.
We're nearly there, though. We're nearly at the point where she's not as absolutely silly and actually got a few nerfs to that skip and slash. So we'll have to see if you can hold it long enough until we get to that. However, still, it is kind of silly. Renekton, even level 1, still not able to go against the Gwen here. Will definitely turn this lane around when he hits that level 3, level 4. Managed to get a little bit more healing coming off his kit. And also just the raw damage that can come through as well. But at least the level 1, the attack speed buff, the high base armor, and also just the extra magic damage on hit that skip and slash provides is just too much to deal with.
Abel moves up. There's a hook going out onto Crisp, and a good trade onto Lwx, who's barely any HP remaining, as she rolls forward to extend the trade. Lwx is certainly not afraid of Abel. That is for sure off the back of that one, but very, very nicely done by Abel and Cold to win out the 2v2 so far.
Yeah, and the reason this is considered a counter matchup is you're able to play at range. You've an ever so slight range advantage as Vayne, but plays boss.
Hang on, Cold and Abel are starting the 2v2, but it's all a bait. It's all a great bait, mate. 8 out of 8 in they go. Abel's in trouble, and Doinb is already here. Oh, Cold, they sold you a lie, and you bought every single second of it. Creme trying to finish off Doinb here, but he just can't close the gap. And guess what? Tian's on the bottom side of the map as well, so there's nothing Creme can do. FPX, I mean, they're just running rings around OMG now.
Yeah, and the problem here again is that, like, there was the 1 of 2 calls you could have made here as Creme. Push in mid, punish Doinb for that roam, or TP bot and maybe get some plays. He TP's bot, doesn't make the plays, and Doinb doesn't get punished. He gets the TP back to lane first. He'll actually get to now have an advantage in this lane as well, and potentially to shove in Tian off on the side, though.
They want to dive Doinb right now, but Tian is here. There was a ward, so Aki, while he's trying to make a play...
Crisp.
Oh no, Crisp is going to catch him. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Everything that is happening in this game is going wrong for OMG. TP's coming in. Cold is here, but it's too late. The kill's already gone down. Creme cannot do anything. Tian looking to just grab himself the chickens here. And look, Nuguri still has TP. Doesn't even have to TP to the play, which Nu did. So another advantage on top of the kill for FPX.
Sounds kind of familiar, right? We just said Doinb didn't have to TP bot for that play. Creme just used his. Now you get Nuguri, who's got this advantage. He's got a pretty large wave that he's about to pick up for himself as well. So looking to trade on towards Nu and crash this big wave. So he can hold on to that. And things like the Dragon that are in 20 seconds, Nuguri will be able to help FPX pick up.
Yep, he can use that for whatever he needs to, whether it's for the Drake, whether it's just to go back to top lane and maintain the CS advantage that he is amassing for himself. Already 15 up in his lane individually right now off the back of that TP play, although Nu will reduce that off of the back of this wave. Does feel like FPX across the board getting massively ahead. We're 5 minutes in, they've got a 2,000 gold lead. That is a terrifying place to be in for OMG, especially when you have such a snowballing comp yourself.
Yeah, it's not looking so hot. Nu.
Oh no. Nu could be in big trouble here. Nuguri not close to level 6, so the all-in isn't available. This is Nu taking a bit of an unfortunate trade there.
Yeah, Nuguri should hit 6 off this next wave. Has got the reset in, so has picked up one Doran's ring for himself, but maybe.
Nu flashes at him. He's hit 6 first. Nuguri somehow behind on XP, but he turns it around with the damage. Oh, barely gets it, but Nu finds the solo kill. The raccoon is down. I repeat, the raccoon is down.
Oh, that was so close as well. The Ignite putting in that little bit of work, but Nuguri not having level 6, not having that advantage. And now, Nu finds his moment to shine, picks up the kill on towards Nuguri, and with that TP going back bot as well, neutralizes what could have been an opening for FPX.
I am really curious how Nu got level 6 first, because obviously Nu TP'd to the mid lane to try and influence that play. I'm not sure what... Nuguri must have been forced out of lane and missed a bunch of CS earlier on in the laning phase for that to happen, but I don't know. The CS numbers didn't seem to imply that was the case. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but Nu, great opportunity, using it beautifully.
Ooh, crisp. Not going to get hooked under tower. You can still see, though, this bottom side of the map now starting to right itself with Lwx picking up this little advantage, pushing in the wave under the turret and starting to poke away at Abel as he's going for this CS. And we're going to get a replay of this play in that top side, and you can see Nu like waits for the bone plating to go down, instantly goes in. You know that Nuguri has no flash, and even though you nearly get that kill coming through from Nuguri, having that final little bit of health coming in off the Q means that the Renekton stays standing.
Exceptional stuff coming out. Nuguri in the meantime tried to all in. You can see his needlework is on cooldown, and Nu is forced back to his base, so Nuguri will extend that CS advantage that he had for himself. Which is often the way, right? In that top lane, when we come to talking about the advantages Nuguri gets, it's not always down to solo kills. Often, it is down to the CS advantages he's able to get. And you can see a replay, just the needlework coming on through. Ult versus no ult, you're never going to win that as Nu.
No, lucky that he didn't actually end up going down to that play, but still, Nuguri now resetting once again, and you're seeing kind of the the bits and bobs that Nuguri's managed to pick up for himself, whereas we're starting to get that chain, or what's called the Iron Chain Whip coming through for Nu. So when that Gore Drinker comes in, it gets a little bit easier in that top side. You're able to match a lot of the healing that's coming through and trade a little bit more effectively as Nu, but the all-in potential from Nuguri, as you can see, is still a big threat if he's given that opportunity.
Lwx has stayed in the bot lane here as the Herald is being primed by OMG. It looks like FPX are not interested in contesting this one, or all they're happy to just trade that for straight up plates in the bottom side. But, you know, Lwx is playing this Vayne, not exactly a tower taking machine. You do have the tumble, so a little bit of bonus damage there, but not going to be too much. And with Demolish, Crisp will be able to help to make it into 2 plates. So at least FPX getting something. But if OMG are able to use it well, they could maybe take an entire tower. Cold moving up. Abel is here as well. They're looking to funnel a whole bunch of gold into the pocket of this Kaisa.
Yeah, try to set Nuguri behind as well. Doinb, roaming up, does have that paranoia available if OMG overcommit.
Gonna drop the Herald down. There's a couple of plates already gone in this top side, or one more auto will make that the case. Herald charges in as Nuguri looks for an all-in. Doinb flies across the map to get involved as well, but he's forced away and actually taken down himself. Didn't have the damage that he thought he had. Now the tower, 1 plate remaining. Nuguri 1v4 underneath the tower here is Creme. Tries to go in, but the dodge from Nuguri. He's 1v4 and he's surviving for a bit. In comes Chris to find the Zenith Blade. That's 2 down. 2 for 2 right now. As we look to Crisp underneath the tower once more. Nu happy to tank up, though. They've easily got the damage to finish a Leona. The Solar Flare does a bit. One more shot. Doesn't quite go through. And OMG win out the trade.
They win out the trade. They get the kills. They get the tower. The only thing that you do have to bear in mind is Lwx still slowly but surely whittling down this bot side turret as well. So the Vayne getting a good bit in that trade, but you'll be happy that as OMG. Managing to pick up so much as FPX tried to respond is going to be a nice little take home.
It's not quite Ziggs though, is it? It's not quite Ziggs.
No.
Can't press W this time. But still scaling exceptionally. A fair play to Nuguri in the start of this fight.
This was a good setup. The problem was that Creme had actually backed away specifically for this play. It meant that there was no way to stop him from teleporting up here. And then, even though Crisp was trying to make his way up as fast as he could, not quite able to do so in time, Nuguri goes down. They get one kill back, but it is going to be, with New arriving, the kills going across again towards OMG.
Cold kind of messing up the aggro there, thinking he could take an extra tower shot. Dies off screen as he pulled himself away, but the tower shot still followed. So gold, a little bit more even than it was. 1,500 in favor of FPX. But a lot of that in the pocket of Lwx. He's got to be the one to make things happen. And just remember, when it comes down to Lwx, the guy could play his own skin. He has a skin for Vayne from winning the World Championship. If that ain't intimidating, I don't know what is. And I think most people know Lwx more for his Kaisa than his Vayne. But when you're picking that champion for a world skin, you know you're proficient.
You say that a lot of the gold's on Lwx, but it's actually more so on the solo laners for FPX. Like, you can see Nuguri there. Despite the fact that he's been put under pressure, the CS lead, some of those kills going back, has actually given himself about 300 gold lead in the top side. Same you look at Doinb, he's sitting 0, 1, and 3, but has managed to get 3 turret plates. So when we come into this fight, we got to keep our eyes on Doinb to see how this paranoia works
Drake
out.
already taken. Here's going to be the smite from Aki and a fight to follow it up as well. There's a kill for Creme, and OMG actually outplaying FPX in this early game, but FPX re-engage 4v5. The needlework going through everybody. Nuguri already with a double, and they want a little bit more. Abel caught in the pit, and in goes Lwx to finish him off. The triple kill comes out for Nuguri. Turn it into a quadra, and that is Gwen in a nutshell.
Didn't realize that it was Nuguri's birthday 2 weeks over here, not just last week, and now he's managed to get himself a quadra kill on this Gwen. We just said, hey look, FPX, you've got to keep your eyes on Nuguri as well in these fights, and you see it there, 4 kills picked up for the Gwen.
Exceptional performance here from Nuguri, from the whole squad of FPX, and the confidence to go for a 4v5 there. After losing your first player is insane. They managed to get a tower in the bottom side as well. Let's take another look at how that all panned out.
Yeah, and with Creme coming in with his own paranoia, this is where it starts to go disastrously. Tian falls pretty much instantly, but you've used a lot of your ults here as OMG to try and take down Tian. So when Doinb comes in over the wall, look at where the positioning for Nuguri is on those needleworks. Straight across almost all members of OMG, and Crisp is essentially untouched for a lot of this fight as well. He's getting the Kraken Slayer procs off as well, which means he's doing so much damage in that fight.
Really nice at the end there from Lwx. Condemn flashes onto Abel to get him against the wall, guarantee the third proc alongside an auto, and make sure Abel can't flash over the pit to survive. So just making sure they get absolutely everything that they can out of the play. And well, FPX, it felt like things were starting to fall apart for them, but actually now 3,500 gold ahead. The lead has increased dramatically. We've got 30 seconds left on these plates though. Aki and Abel trying to get what they can on the bottom side of the map, and it's going to be traded on the top side as Lwx will be pushing there. Nuguri moves under the tower though. Cold off waiting in the wings to maybe make a dive happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. The snip removes the minions. Cold now goes under. I don't know about this one, guys. That ain't the play. Nuguri almost finishes it by himself. Doinb flies in with the paranoia, and OMG bit off way more than they could chew here. Doinb will go down. Nuguri looking for a second one. Aki flashing away. Creme has TP'd into the play, and they'll finish off the Korean top laner. They get the shutdown onto the Gwen.
That heal was... Actually, I don't even know where I thought it was a heal on Abel, but it was actually just the Gore Drinker providing so much health back towards Aki in that fight. It means that you just don't have the damage there as Nuguri to turn it back. So OMG, they pick up 2. Lwx, though, still a split pushing machine.
Crisp could be in trouble. He flashes out to safety. Bit of a weird solar flare from Creme there. Won't be able to hit him. Crisp will still go down. I think the stun comes in. Creme finishes it off in the meantime. You got Tian just desperately trying to finish this Herald before it's answered. And Lwx pushing the wave on the top side gets the recall off, as will Tian. OMG picking up scraps, and importantly, Creme with 4 kills now.
Yeah, and again, nearly a great play from Nuguri to try and kill off Cold. Just gets him so damn low. Stopwatch keeps him alive that little bit longer. Doinb here to finish him off, but watch the healing that comes through on Xin Zhao here. Like Aki taking solo, Crescent Guard doing so much, and then Gore just before Doinb dies as well, which means he gets the double proc of the Gore Drinker, giving him more health off the 2 members out of there. He's able to survive. I do want to draw your attention to Lwx though, because he's been farming up a storm, 880 gold off of turret plates because he's been in a side lane. He is monstrous right now.
Really important to mention as well, Abel got the shutdown onto Nuguri there. He got 800 gold for that kill. I saw it in the replay. So all of that side laning that Lwx has been doing has basically been nullified by that play. Abel now, you can see in the inventories, is pretty much an item ahead, or at least 3/4 of an item ahead of Lwx, which after how the early game went for FPX is kind of insane to see that these AD carries are at least somewhat even and maybe even Abel favored at this point. Kind of nuts. But regardless, Kraken Slayer coming out on this Vayne here for Lwx. Is for some reason Herald just completely ignoring the minion wave there. Not meant to do that. But this Vayne build, there are 2 builds, right? There's the Kraken Slayer and the Shield Bow. Usually you see the Shield Bow. This is Lwx saying, you can't threaten me, I'm going to survive the fights.
And we said that as well, right? I mean, so much of OMG's CC is actually auto-attack reliant that it becomes really difficult to lock down Lwx. Now, FPX not really in a position to take this dragon, so looks like OMG will secure this before FPX arrive.
But now the fight comes on in, and it's Abel that's locked up and taken out. All of that gold has gone down the drain. Now OMG, they're surrounded. The pincer movement from FPX. Maybe OMG can all in onto the 2, though. They try and close the gap. They're trying to finish off the first kill, but Doinb flashes out to safety here, and it's Aki that will go down in the back line. Tian is tanky enough to just keep this one going. Nuguri chasing on in as well. The slows from the undertow are so difficult to escape. Double kill for Lwx, and it feels like FPX, they get everything they want.
They don't get the dragon, but they do get the kills, and now Lwx should be able to push in this mid wave as well. Don't think they'll be able to get much more on the objective front, but still a 5,000 gold lead opening up for FPX. And I thought that fight may not have actually gone too well for FPX. I thought with how much time Aki had bought on the backside of the fight, FPX would go down, but I should have known better, especially with how far Nuguri is ahead. The wallet's coming out clutch for FPX in that fight.
Yeah, they've got wallets on strings at this point, or on chains. They're like swinging them around their head and like bashing OMG with the wallet. It's not just like a wallet slap. It's like literally, it's like, you know, when in the locker rooms after swimming, you'd like whip each other with the towels. It's kind of like that, yeah, but with a wallet on the end of it. That's the kind of situation we've got going on with FPX. Let's take another look. I mean, they just get crushed.
I mean, bad positioning from Abel. And honestly, I think it was a direction of OMG as a whole going out the top side was not the best call. But here, like, look how much time Aki actually buys. He's like zoning off 3 members here, and I was like, okay. I saw Doinb flash out. I was like, this is it. This is where it's going to be able to cover it. But Nuguri comes across to save Tian. Eventually, FPX actually deal with the Crescent Guard. But hold on.
Ooh. Another play from FPX. We can't even finish a replay before they've got more kills themselves. Cold and Abel caught out in rotation here. And OMG now will completely lose control of the bottom half of the map. Nuguri is pushing the tier 2 in the bottom side while all of this goes on. Baron's going to be up in about a minute's time. Here we go. Maybe a pick on Tian, but the Quadric comes out and he's completely invincible. Lwx is on the back line. The diving AD carry Lwx. This is why he's got a Vayne skin right here. The double-double for the young AD carry, and now into the mid lane they go.
It was Doinb's time to shine last game. It's Lwx's time to shine this game. 706. 700 gold bounty, nearly finishing off what I imagine is an Infinity Edge. It could be a Bloodthirster. It doesn't matter. This guy could buy whatever he wants at this stage. He's so far ahead. And you can't even turn towards the Bard. It's 19.5 minutes into this game. It's too early.
But the thing is, when that Baron comes up, my God, does this team take it fast, right? Olaf You've got a GA on the... What? LWX has 3 items before Baron comes onto the map, and he's a Vayne anyway.
Oh, it's over. It's done for.
I mean, pick the red buff for the ward, mate. One or the other. You can't do both and still expect to survive.
I mean, honestly, kind of pick neither. Just get the hell out. Like, choose life. Don't choose either. You've got so much to live for. And unfortunately, FPX aren't giving them that much time, so... OMG, yes, they try to make this pick on Tian again. Core Drinker coming in clutch. And as you said, like, Lwx, great focus here. Aki, the only real damage dealer, instantly takes him out. And he knows that the rest of his team will be there to help him as soon as any sort of danger lands his direction.
I think the scientific phrase for the situation happening in this game is done so, I believe. Because this one is about as over as they come. 8,000 gold lead at the 20-minute mark. Lwx fed out of his mind. And now FPX will just start this Baron off. And what are you going to do about it, OMG? We need to see some kind of miracle play. I expect a last-ditch effort play to come out from OMG here, but if they do, it might just be the end of the game.
Yeah, last-ditch 21 minutes. It's going well, but here we go.
Yeah, Baron's got down and out to it. He just dives into the back line, starts the fight off for himself. Keeping himself safe. There's the locket as well. Cold the next target. Everfrost across the team, but there's just no damage from OMG. Nobody's even being threatened significantly. They finally get on someone, but Lwx is cleaning them up. Creme can't escape. 2 more kills for both carries here. Lwx and Doinb with the double-double once again. And a TP to the bottom lane. The Baron in pocket. Dagda, this is surely game.
Which is insane. It is 21 minutes in, and FPX, they just find that one fight. They blow open the game, and this is going to be it. A quick series from FPX.
And look, when we see 2 teams with very similar styles clashing, you can anticipate that it's probably going to be a fairly one-sided series. Whoever's better at the style will typically win out. And guess what? It's Lwx. He's the one that's the best at the style. Able trying to answer. And actually, FPX maybe have bitten off more than they could chew here. Going for extra kills might just ruin the game for them. Everfrost blocked by a stopwatch. Now they're trying to get onto the carries. Tian dives into the backline. Gordrick can keep himself safe. Jumps onto Abel and just cuts him to pieces. The GA coming up. Trumps here for the side of Lwx. And suddenly Aki realizes he's having to 1v1 an AD carry, and I don't know if he can win the 1v1. Take me back to the 1v1. I don't care about the Nexus. I want to see Lwx versus Aki right now. As he chases him across the map, I'm just watching the minimap. Cold falls as well. News last man standing, and the game is over. FPX destroy OMG.
And Munch, I looked at the time as we started into this series. I was like, damn, this is going to be a long day. That was an insanely fast series. The fact we had a 3-game and a 50-minute game in our first series and FPX bring us back on track is nuts. But what a performance from FPX. Like, that was just domination from start to finish. Even though we saw a couple